darker this time.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Mixed Reviews. As promised, I will be delivering the review for J. Cole's Born Sinner album. The album was released on June 18th on the biggest hip-hop day we've had in a while, when not only J. Cole but Mac Miller and Kanye West delivered their albums. After a month has gone by and after many listens, I'm finally ready to discuss how I feel about the album. I'm going to dissect this album into 4 different parts: the lyrics, the production, the album theme, and then I'll give my overall opinion. So let's jump right into the lyrics. Lyrically, this album is exactly what Cole said it was. It's way darker this time. He's rapping more confidently, and his flow is a lot more in control. He allows us to look even deeper inside himself with Born Sinner. He's always been a pensive, introspective rapper, but he really displays his vulnerability this time around. He touches on relationship issues and how fame has gotten in between all of that. He delves into how he doesn't want money to change him, but the temptations are hard to overcome, and those temptations are things like new chains, groupies that are getting in between all of relationships, things like that. There are some cringeworthy moments on the album. For instance, the faggot line in the very first song.
My verbal AK slave faggots, and I don't mean no disrespect whenever I say faggot, okay faggot? Don't be so sensitive. If you wanna get fucked in the ass, that's between you and whoever else's dick it is. Pause. Maybe that line was too far. Just a little joke to show how homophobic you are, and who can blame you?
He explains that he just wanted to get people talking, but there was a much better way to do it. His motives were pure, but I think it was carried out in poor taste. Now, another common opinion is that Cole's lines are corny. Now, I can see where they're coming from with that, but I don't fully agree with that statement.
A lot of niggas that are Mario type. Bad bitch with a degree, I let him scoop. Yeah, I'm Cooper, I never been a Mario type. No saving hoes.
Yeah, that line made all of us roll our eyes, but I think that Cole delivers a lot more lyrically than that. Cole has always been the rapper foot soldier that spits relatable lyrics with a positive message. He's never strayed away from the truth, and that's never been more noticeable than in Born Sinner. Born Sinner lets us see Cole as more than a rapper who's just using his lyrics to make money. It helps us see him as a real person. He still delivers the confident, flaunty tracks where he talks about money, girls, and how he's better than everyone else, like in Illuminati and Land of the Snakes. And these themes may be opposite what Cole's usual message is, but it fits in perfectly to his Born Sinner theme. He says, "I'm a born sinner, but I die better than that, swear." Cole acknowledges that regardless of succumbing to temptations and sinning ways, he is striving to do right. So that takes me into the theme. Now, J. Cole knows how to stick with the theme. All of his projects leading up to this album, The Come Up, The Warm Up, Friday Night Lights, and Cold World, The Sideline Story, dealt with the theme of comparing his rap career to a basketball player trying to get on the team and then finally making it and struggling to get off the bench. Well, he finally strayed away from that theme in this album, which I think was a good call because I don't know if there was anywhere else for him to take that. As I mentioned, the central theme of Born Sinner is how fame comes with all these temptations. And he knows what the right thing is, but sometimes he can't help but surrender to the flashy lifestyle. He wants to live right, but there's a lot getting in his way. He addresses this theme perfectly throughout the entire album. The paradox of his wants and actions is present all over, especially in Runaway and Chaining Day. In Runaway, he talks about how the fame has gotten to him and he's messing around with all these groupies, but he's got a girl back home and the girl treats him right, and he knows that he should do the right thing and stop messing around with all these girls and these groupies, but he can't. The temptations got to him. And Runaway, he's saying that he thinks the girl should run away. She knows she needs to run away because he's not doing the right thing and he's not treating her right, but he can't help it, even though he knows that she's everything that he really needs. In Chaining Day, he talks about how, as soon as he got famous, went and bought a chain. He said he would never do that because he didn't need these flashy things, but once he started making the money, he couldn't resist the temptation, and so he went out and bought a bunch of flashy chains to show off. So, that reflects the theme perfectly because those are the temptations that he's going through and that he's succumbing to, and he knows that they're wrong, but, born sinner. You can't help it. In the Where's Jermaine skit, there's a choir rehearsal going on, but Cole is missing. And it's mentioned that he misses this rehearsal frequently. The rehearsal being a metaphor for the living right and doing the right thing, and him frequently missing being indicative of how he's letting the temptations take over him. More than the paradox, the religious theme is present in many other ways. In Runaway, he questions how we're all made in God's image when there are murderers, prostitutes, and rappers submitting to temptations when they have significant others, like himself. The Kearney sermon skit addresses how some churches promise life changes and miracles, but they are really only looking to make a profit in the process. There are choirs everywhere, and they sound majestic. They fit in perfectly with his production. Some of the tracks have some eerily fitting gospel influences. So let's talk about the production. The production on Born Sinner is leagues ahead of what he gave us on Cold World, The Sideline Story. He's really honed his craft and zoned in on a sound that is just so Dreamville. There are strings everywhere. There are choral harmonies. There are more pianos than ever before. The beats are tough and they're very layered. There's a video where he describes how he made the Power Trip beat, and it's just genius. Actually, you can find a link to that right there. The She Knows beat is tough, and even more impressive after you hear the original song, Bad Things by Colts. Crooked Smile and Born Sinner are perfect tracks in terms of production, in that they bring in a lot of different sounds and they fit perfectly, and both of them can play on the radio and blow up. The horns that appear in Chain and Day, perfect. How he flipped the electric relaxation beat by a Tribe Called Quest for Forbidden Fruit, even though that's a song that's hard to compete with. The way Nas and Cole's voices intertwined in the beginning of Let Nas Down. Cole held no punches when it comes to the production. The way the skit instrumentals flow into the next track is so cohesive, and he's been doing that since his first album. I'm talking about, listen to the first track from Cold World, The Sideline Story, and then listen to Dollar and a Dream 3. Listen to how they flow into each other. Same thing with Interlude into Sideline Story. It's the same in this album. If you listen to the instrumentals that are going on in the background of the Kearney sermon skit, watch how they flow into Land of the Snakes, and watch how Where's Jermaine skit flows into Forbidden Fruit. Cole delivers superb production on this album, and I think he's got a lot more up his sleeve. Here are my overall impressions. Born Sinner is a great album. Cole was able to craft an album that everyone can relate to. It's an album that is so much better than its predecessor. Power Trip and Crooked Smile are great singles, and production-wise are light years ahead of Can't Get Enough and Workout, the singles from his last album. He managed to make some tracks that did really well on the radio and still have a message. I like the risks he took on this album. Having an album with no rap features is a bold statement, but it worked out. The features he did have were perfect. Everyone played his or her role perfectly. Miguel, James Fauntleroy, TLC, Kendrick Lamar, and more. They all did what they had to do. Even the fact that some of his interludes featured rapping instead of just instrumentals and music. I haven't seen that in a while. His album was cohesive. Listen to the themes he lays out, from Trouble to Runaway to She Knows. From Trouble, where he's talking about how he's getting in trouble with all these groupies and he's doing all the wrong things, to Runaway, where he's saying these wrong things are messing with his relationship and he's got this girl back home and he's doing her wrong, to She Knows, where he's like, my girl knows I'm cheating and I don't know what to do. Should I start doing the right thing, or should I just keep doing what I'm doing because it's too late because she knows? It's quite a progression. It's very cohesive. He took a lot of risks with this album, and they paid off. In a time where Kanye is moving further and further away from the college dropout sound, J. Cole is picking up where he left off. J. Cole is picking up the reins of the man Kanye represented to the public, a rapper for the people that deals with some of the same issues we do and wants to tell us about them and wants us to relate to them. Can Cole keep it up? Is there more for him to say while still staying fresh? We'll see. But for now, I rate his album an 8.75 out of 10. Cole said it best. I'm a man of the people, not above, but equal. I believe him. Peace out.
I'm just a man of the people, not above but equal. And for the greater good, I walk amongst the evil. Don't cry, mama, it's the life.
Also, I forgot to mention, listen to Runaway, listen to the hook of Runaway, and tell me you can't picture or visualize Mos Def singing that hook. First time I heard the song, I was like, whoa, he kind of sounds like Mos Def in the way he's singing his hook. I could picture Mos Def singing his hook. Just think about it. It's just something for you to think about.
I'm running, run away, run away, run away, run away. I'm holding on, desperate.